factors of quadratic trinomial. So when we say quadratic trinomial, so it is a second degree polynomials with 3 terms. So that means the highest exponent must be 2. Okay? So quadratic trinomials has 2 forms. So let's begin with this form here. So the first form of the quadratic trinomials is x squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so the highest degree is 2, or the highest exponent is squared, so x squared. This is our first term here, and for our second term we have b times x, and then for our third term is we have c, so that is the constant. So how do we get the fact for the quadratic trinomials in this form? So let's have some examples. Okay, so this is an example of a quadratic trinomial in the first form, where the first term, so the numerical coefficient of first term is equal to 1. So kapag walang nakasulat na numerical coefficient, that means it is equal to 1. Okay, so for the first step is we need to find 2 factors of c, our constant here, whose sum is equal to the coefficient of b. The b is the middle term. Okay, so let's list down the different factors of 8. So when we say factors, these are the numbers that when you multiply is equal to another number, which is 8 in this case. Okay, so the factors, let's write it here. The factors of 8 is, it can be 1 times 8, 1 times 8, that is equal to 8, or it can be 2 times 4, right? So 1 times 8 and 2 times 4, these are the factors of 8 here. And we are looking for the factor that will give, or that if we add them, is equal to the numerical coefficient of our middle term here. So in this case, we are looking for positive 6. Okay? So if we add 1 and 8, this is equal to 9. And we are looking for the positive 6. So that means we cannot use this factor. Next is 2 plus 4. That is equal to positive 6. So that means this is the factor that we will use for this quadratic trinomial. Now, we already know the factors. Let's focus on this quadratic trinomial now. So first, let's create 2 quantities. And then, let's distribute our first term, which is a squared. So the factors of a squared is a. So there are no other factors other than this one. So let's put a on the first quantity, and then another a in second quantity. Okay, next is using this factor. So let's write it in both quantities here. So this is positive 2, positive 2, positive 2. And then this is positive 4. So that means we will write positive 4. And this is the answer. So these are the factors of the given quadratic trinomials. Okay, so let's have another example. We have e squared plus e minus 6. Again, step 1, find 2 factors of our last term here, that if we add is equal to the numerical coefficient of our first term. So let's create a list for the factors of negative 6 first. So factors, so it can be, since this is negative, so that means the factors that we will use is one positive and the other one is negative to get the negative product. Okay, so we have 1, we can use 1 times negative 6. Yes, that is equal to negative 6, or vice versa, negative 1 times positive 6, or it can be negative 3 times positive 2, or negative 2 times positive 3. Okay, now we have the list of different factors for negative 6. We need to find the factor that will give us the numerical coefficient of our middle term. So as we can see here, our middle term is written as a variable. So that means the numerical coefficient of this one is 1. So positive 1 in particular. So if the numerical coefficient is equal to 1, we did not write it anymore. Okay? So let's add these factors and then find the factors that if we add them is equal to the numerical coefficient of e. So we have 1 plus negative 6. Okay, so 1 positive 1 plus negative 6, so that is equal to negative 5. Next, negative 5 is not equal to 1, so that means we cannot use these factors. Next is negative 1 plus positive 6. So this is equal to positive 5. So this is, we cannot use that again. Next is negative 3 plus 2. Negative 3 plus 2, this is equal to negative 1. Okay, so we have negative 1 here, but we are looking for the positive 1. So that means we cannot use this one. And then for the last one is we have negative 2 plus positive 3. That is equal to positive 1. So if we add two integers with different sign, we actually subtract them. And then we use the sign of the integer with bigger value. Okay, so we have negative 2 and then 3. Okay, so that means this is the factors that we will use. Okay, so let's go back here. There. Okay, so first, write two quantities for the factors. And then distribute our first term or the factors of our first term, which is e. And then this is negative 2, negative 2, and then positive 3. So positive 3. And this is the answer. So we have e minus 2 times e plus 3. And these are the factors of the given quadratic trinomial here. So again, step 1. So write all the factors for our constant or our last term here. So this is negative 6. And then write all the factors here. And then find the factor that if we add them, the sum must be equal to the numerical coefficient of our middle term. And then after finding it, just use the factors to get the factors of the quadratic trinomial. First, distribute the first term, which is e and e, and then use the factors here. So since this is negative, this is also negative here, and since this is positive, this is also positive. And that's how you get the factors of a quadratic trinomial. Thank you.